This class is all about time management, but not in the way that you think. You know, sometimes we think about time management and we're just like, oh, I need to learn how to fit everything in my schedule. I need to learn how to do it. No, it's about having that freedom, that aliveness, that power where you have time, freedom. You can do what you want. Many people wake up only because of the alarm clock, meaning you have to get somewhere. There's something you have to do, like a job or something, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, I'm going to create my life. I'm going to create the life I want now. You don't just get it overnight, okay? You can't just have the life you want overnight, okay? It's going to take a while. Some of you it's going to take 3 years. Some of you have done a lot of personal development work. You're on your journey. You're focused. You're getting coaches. You're getting mentorship. You're going for it. You're a little bit closer, okay? But you have to know where you are. If you've never done personal development work, you've never had a coach, you've never invested in yourself at a high level, do not expect to be a seven-figure earner overnight. Do not. Okay, you have to go through the journey. As I said, the book I recommended was The Science of Getting Rich. Okay, you can get that from Amazon, or you can listen to it on Audible. I currently have the physical book and I listen to it on Audible every single day. It's very short. It's like 2 hours. And if I 2x the speed, it's 1 hour or so. And I could just listen to it every day and just flood my mind. I learn something new every single day because I know the woman I want to be and I know the woman I'm becoming every day. Even though I've hit a lot of my goals, even though I've done amazing things, there's always another level to get to. So time management, managing your time means being a woman that's deliberate and intentional, okay? Many people are like how I was many years ago, when life was just pulling you in so many different directions. Like I remember waking up and having to do something for something, someone or someone else, or it was like always outside of myself. I kid you not, my schedule right now is so amazing. I literally, the only things that are in my calendar are literally this Tuesday class, this week, right? Wednesday class. I met with my team member at 12 p.m. on Monday. And next week, 5-day challenge. Like, I don't want to fill up my calendar. I spend a lot of my time choosing how I want to spend my day, studying, cooking, spending time with my family, doing all those things. Do you understand? But I remember years ago when I had to work, when I had to do things, I had to say yes to everyone. I didn't know how to stand in myself and be like, no, this doesn't go with the woman I want to become. No, I didn't know how to say no. So time management is really about creating a structure for your life. I want you to write this down at the top of your paper, okay? Creating a structure for your life. What do I mean by that? You need something to support the woman that you want to become. And it all comes down to how you move throughout your day and what you do now. When I was working a job, when I was having to show up for everyone else, and I love showing up for people. Don't think I'm selfish, like in my little hole, not helping anyone, no. But I remember when I had to do things I didn't want to do, I felt so stuck. I was like, what is this life about, you know? But now I'm in a space where I can look at my calendar and choose. But I create a structure for my life. If you look at the chair that I'm sitting on right now, it has legs and it's supporting me, right? It's supporting me. It's not wobbling. It's not shaky. That's how a lot of people live their life. No, you want to stand on something strong for yourself. Do you understand? Type yes in the chat. Let me just unmute the comments for a second. How do I do it? There you go. Type yes in the chat. You are listening to me. Structure allows us to live according to how you said you were going to live. And life, I want you to see life like a catalog, ladies. I want you to see it like a catalog where you can choose the life you want. All right? But I want you to know this. A lot of people are living lives that are not authentic to them. This is the huge thing. Hey, Gemma, what's going on? Listen, a lot of people are living lives that are not authentic to them. I've coached so many people, right? From different walks of life. different places. And I will coach people that say, oh, I want to be a business coach. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, what business have you grown? How many businesses have you helped? And they're like, no, I haven't. I've just learned some stuff. I'm like, well, how are you going to be a business coach if you haven't done the work and got the results? That's an example of someone who's not living authentically to them, right? They're living for what they've seen, or what they think looks cool, or what they would like to do, instead of being the person. That's why a lot of people don't get results. A lot of people don't get results. I did not set out to be a life coach. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I want to be a life coach. I didn't even know what life coaching was when I first started. I wanted to be a psychologist, an educational psychologist. And I started studying psychology. I started working in schools and shadowing the EP and all that good stuff. And it unfolded. It became when I had the knowledge. Do you understand? It wasn't just I went through a little homelessness situation, which I did and came through and was like, oh, I now want to help people who are going through homelessness. No, listen, I studied, okay? And I want you to think about all of you who have your masters and your higher education, right? You had to work for it. Do you understand? You had to work for it. You had to plan. That's what I want to do. And then you had to organize your life, create structure to support what you wanted. It wasn't just, oh, I want to have a master's degree tomorrow. I want to have a PhD tomorrow. No. So why do you think your mission, your purpose is going to happen overnight? Everything great in your life takes time. Okay? The powerful relationships in your life take time to build, time to nurture. Right? You're having a child. It takes time to develop in the womb. So why do you think with your dreams, your goals, it's going to be an overnight thing? Okay? It's not. It's going to take time. So structure allows you to create the life that you want to live. When people don't have structure, you become a slave to your circumstance. Okay? Instead of you choosing, this is how I want to spend my day, now you have to go work for someone that is not in alignment with your God-given assignment, okay? Now you have to do things that you can't say no to because you need it. But if you learn how to create a structure for your life, you can move through life powerfully, okay? Give me a nod, act like I can see you and hear you because I feel I can about this, okay? We don't want to, when I talk about managing our time, it's not about just looking at your small day, the 24 hours that we have, and trying to cram it up with different things, okay? It's about looking at your life and being like, where do I want to be 5 years from now? I want you to all think about this just vaguely for now. And, if you're on my program next week, we're going to dive into it a little bit deeper. But I just want you to think about your life. When I ask people how much money do they want to have, they just throw out a number. They might say, oh, I want to have £10,000 a month. But I'm like, well, what do you need £10,000 a month for? Have you really looked at your life and calculated everything and how much things will cost and how much you really need? Or are you just throwing out what sounds nice to you, right? So when you think about your 5-year plan, I want you to think about how much money do you need to have the life that you want? Do you want a 5-bedroom house in central London? It's going to be a lot more money than having a 5-bedroom house out in the suburbs, right? And you need to calculate, you need to go and search that house and see how much it costs and see how much, if you're going to have a mortgage, how much deposit you need to pay down, how much is stamp duty. And you need to calculate every area of it. Right? That's exactly what I do when I'm creating my life. I'm like, what is it I want? And what does it take? And I'm going somewhere with this as it relates to your daily time, okay? So you throw your vision out into the future and you say, okay, I want to I need £10,000 a month because I've looked at how I want my life to live. I want a 5-bedroom house. I want a cleaner to come 3 days a week. I want a nanny for the children. I'm just making this up, but I'm going with this and it's going to cost this and I want to be able to help my parents and I want to be able to employ my family, and this is how much it's going to cost as a business expense and a personal expense. Okay, that's the thing. A lot of time when you have a business and you're like, I want my business to make 100K a month. Well, that's your business making 100K a month, not you. Okay? But anyway, so you calculate your life and you say to yourself, okay, I need 50,000 a month. I need 10,000 pounds a month. If you want to go live in Thailand, you might not need 50,000 a month. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's about chucking it forward, painting it forward and being like, this is what I want my life to look like. I want a chauffeur. I want a nanny. I want help. I want to be able to give to charity. I want to be able to give 5,000 pounds a month to charity or a cause that I believe in. I want to be able to help this family member. You know what I mean? You start building it up and then you get a financial goal. You also need a goal for your relationships, okay? What kind of relationships do you want? You know, what kind of relationship do you want with your husband? What kind of relationship do you want with your kids? You know, you plan this all out. That's how life works. Life is not about being a victim. And many people have been conditioned to believe that's how life is, meaning, oh, coach, you don't understand. This is just happening to me. No, have you forgotten how powerful you are? Have you forgotten that you are the head, not the tail? You are above and not beneath. You are the lender, not the borrower. And no person, place, or thing has power over you. Have you forgotten that? Well, no circumstance is too big for you to overcome. Especially if you're tapped into God. Like, are we reading the same Bible? Because when I read the Bible, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So when I hear people complain about their situation, I'm like, I know we serve the same God, so what's going on, right? But maybe you're not tapped in enough. Maybe you're not plugged in, okay? But you have to have this forward vision, because if you don't have a forward vision, what are you going to say yes or no to on a daily basis, okay? What are you going to say yes or no to on a daily basis? Your friend's going to call you. Oh, I need you to help me with this. And because you don't have a vision, you're not going somewhere. You're going to have to say yes. Okay? Someone's going to ask you to do this. Someone's going to ask you, and your time and your energy is just getting pulled left, right, and center because you haven't designed the life that you want to live. Okay? My life is very, very intentional. Okay? So there's 7 areas, and if you're on the class tomorrow, we'll go through those 7 areas. But there's 7 areas that I focus on with creating my life. 5 years out, 12 months out, so forth. That's the vision for my life. And then I look at, who do I need to become to be able to achieve that? You know, you might be like, oh, I want to have an amazing husband who does this, this, this. Well, what kind of wife do you need to be? Okay, what kind of wife do you need to be to attract that husband? Or if you're already married, what kind of wife do you need to be now to elevate who your husband is? You know, you can speak life into your husband right now. You can speak life into your kids right now, right? But anyway, who do I need to be in order to achieve those goals, okay? And then we work backwards to be like, okay, if that's the goal, this is who I need to be. What do I need to be doing this month in order to achieve that goal? What's my end of month goal? What's my end of October goal? If I want to be on the path to being this person, what's my end of October goal? Okay? Once you know the end of October goal, 1 month from now, then you move back and back. And you, where do I need to be 3 weeks from now? Where do I need to be 2 weeks from now? 1 week from now? 1 day from now? And that's how you get to know what you should be doing every single day. Okay? Every single day. So now you have that blueprint, and now you can say, oh, I can do that because that's in alignment with my goal. You know, or no, I won't be able to do that because that's not in alignment with my goal. Okay, and now it does take work. It does take time and planning and research to know what you want your goal to be and what it looks like. It does take research to know what steps do I need to take, but I promise you it's worth it. Because the reason why a lot of people come to me and want help with time management is because they don't have any life management. Do you understand? I say, what's your calendar? What's your goal? They're like, oh, I don't have any real goals. I'm like, well, how can I help you manage your time? What am I going to help you manage the mess and the chaos? Like, do you understand? I can't help you manage the chaos. Do you understand what I'm saying? I need to help you manage your plan. Okay, you wouldn't come to my house if you didn't know the address. Or so you might try to find me, but if I said, everyone come to my house for class, right? Come to my home for class, we're gonna do it here, and I just logged off and went, you'll be like, coach, where do we go? Do you understand? It'll be like, we don't know the destination, we don't know the goal, we don't know where we're gonna end up, so how can we start moving? So I want you to think about your life like that. If you're stuck, it's not your fault. It's probably because you don't have a clear enough goal. You don't have a clear destination. And then you haven't researched the steps on how to get there. The first thing is the vision. The vision will pull you forward. When there's no vision, the people perish. Okay? When there's no vision, people just fall. When there's no vision, people just start doing different things. And then you end up babysitting people, children and grown-ups. You know, you start giving out money to people. You start helping everyone like you're the ATM machine. You know, when you haven't been like, no, this is my vision. This is how much I put in my investment accounts every month. This is what I do every month with my finances. Oh, this is what I have left. And now I can give from my overflow because I've made sure everything's secure. And now I have this to give and this to overflow and to spill out to other people instead of just being stripped apart. Okay, you have a moral obligation to become the highest expression of yourself possible. Okay, you have a moral obligation to take those dreams and those goals that God has placed inside of you and to unleash them into the world. Not the ones he's placed in me, not you see me doing this and be like, oh, I think I could be a coach. Like, unless you've got the credentials, unless you've done the work, yes, but this is not easy. You have to be skilled, you have to have passion, you have to want to do this in order to go through the hardships, okay? You have a unique talent that's been given to you. That's what you need to do. That's why nothing else is working. You've been praying to God for a way and you wonder why that things are not working, things are falling, because life is bending and molding to get you onto your path. But you keep on refusing, okay? So 2026 can be the best year of your life, and I believe that. And I'm not just saying that. I coach women every single year on their goals. This is what I do. And it can be, but you have to start now, okay? You have to start now. Write that on your paper. I have to start now. I have to start right now. Meaning thinking about, what do I want to do? And I know some of you are going through difficult situations right now. I understand, I get it. But I want you to only dedicate a small percentage of your time to that. Okay? The rest is future building. Remember I said the vision will pull you forward. It will bring you out of that situation mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Bring you out of that situation so you can become the highest expression of yourself possible. Okay? It's possible. I was able to turn my life around. You know, I was able to go from having absolutely nothing on government support in the UK. I'm not ashamed to say it because that's just where I was, okay? On housing benefit in the government system, couldn't afford a home, couldn't do anything. And I was able to work my way out. But I made sure I had the right support. I wasn't listening to people that didn't have what I wanted. I just couldn't, you know, because they would just take me off track. Okay, and I know they were doing it from a good space and trying to be helpful and all that, but I was like, you know what, we're both in the same boat. We're gonna drown if someone doesn't know how to swim, okay? So I had to go outside of my circle. I had to go out and I had to learn and I had to bring back the information and share it with the people I loved and cared about and whoever wanted to listen. Not everybody wants to listen, and that's okay, okay? But you have a moral obligation to stand in your power and go for your goals.